Hey, what's good in it, everybody? This is Chef Greg, and I am here finally, taking me a couple of weeks, to introduce you guys to the SOP for my pop-up micro commercial kitchen. I know I talked about it in a video before, but I finally, as I'm have presented this now for my HACCP review, I'm finally in a stage right now where I can actually present this now on YouTube. My copyrights and all of my protections are in place, and we're going to just get right into it and let you guys know that again. First of all, my pop-up micro commercial kitchen, I designed it for myself in order to have my own restaurant. In my mind, it's a restaurant. Now, my county's paperwork says it's a temporary food establishment. No different than, I guess I can't say different than a food truck because, of course, it doesn't have wheels. But it is a temporary food establishment. But I'm going to run it like a restaurant, as nice as I want it to be. But in any event, I'm first and always talking to professional food handlers. I'm talking to people who already work in restaurants, be it fast food or high-end restaurants. I'm talking to people that own or work for food trucks or food truck owners around the world. Around the world. This is what this is for to start. My initial approach is to people who already have food handling, professional food handling experience, commercial food handling experiences. They're licensed, they're trained, they know the ins and outs, they know the rules. Because again, this pump kit, which I now have finalized, first of all, let me tell you, it tops out at $5,886.69. Now I had to upgrade one of the appliances, and then I had to make sure that I added an additional appliance in order to make this compliant. But in doing that, I still kept it under $5,900 for a restaurant startup. So, just real quick, what this 7 or 8 pages are, it consists of 29 to 30 step standing operating procedures, a quick 2-page tutorial with a graph of what my wireless temperature monitoring redundancy strategy is for my HACCP review, and also, to make this something that that you can use, regardless of what jurisdiction you're in around the world. And then the other page, of course, is the introduction of, what it is that what this is that I've written. And then the last 2 pages really are again the appliances that I've chosen, along with their links, along with the total amount that one particular manufacturer, like say Vivor, I believe has 6 items. So it totals out. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vivor has 5 items, so it totals out that they have that their total cart would be $1,644.94. So if it were that we were successful enough to launch 38,000 of these, Vivor would stand to be able to multiply that 1,644.94 times 38,000. Vivor is doing pretty good. But then the last page is really just the introduction. And the introduction says simply, this document details the standard operating procedure, or SOP, for the Neighborhood Foodies Pop-Up Micro Commercial Kitchen. That's me. With a focus on wireless temperature monitoring redundancy for safe handling of raw meats. It outlines the equipment required, including the appliances and the 3 phases of temperature control. Now we have controllers, monitors. So we have temperature controllers, temperature monitors, and then we have temperature log transparency. Those are the 3 phases. The SOP provides a step-by-step instruction for transporting, preparing, cooking, reheating, and serving the proteins, emphasizing the importance of adhering to health department temperature requirements and documenting the entire process through social media, live stream, and record keeping. This meticulous approach ensures food safety and transparency in a temporary food establishment setting. That's what this packet is. That's it in summary. For more information, of course, I'm at N as in neighborhood, nfoodies001@gmail.com. And just so that you guys are aware, again, the name of my company or the name of the franchise will be Neighborhood Foodies. But because I didn't really want to have to write out Neighborhood Foodies and everything that I did, I just got rid of the neighborhood and just made it N Foodies001. So if you go to my Instagram, if you want to go to my TikTok, if you want to go to my YouTube channel, or my X channel or what was Twitter is nfoodies, NFOODIES 001. So anyway, so enough of that. Again, I would much prefer that you guys would subscribe to Vivor, Tyfer, Anchor, Instant Pot, Anova, any Square, any of the brand names that I'm presenting here as a part of what my pop-up micro kitchen is going to be. I prefer that you guys subscribe to that, to be honest, because that shows those companies that we're serious. It shows the company that neighborhood foodies can affect their bottom line, and that's what will help us get these kits out. Again, corporate sponsorship is huge. It's one of the 9 to 10 different streams of revenue that the PUM kit, the pop-up micro commercial kitchen, has access to. But again, what we're worried about right now is we want to do. I'm so happy that I finally got this together, and I'm so happy that I finally got my HACCP review form in, and I'm so happy that I feel very confident that God has given me and provided me the information and helped me to understand it in a way, and I put it down in a way that this review will be successful. Now, again, I'm going to ask you guys to check me. I'm not sitting here arrogantly thinking that I'm going to get it right the first time. I'm sitting here hoping that you guys will critique me. I'm sitting here hoping that you will challenge me, that you will correct me, that any of what it is that I need or that I require as it relates to making sure that I get this right, because it's not just for me. The freedom that you get from the PUM kit is not just for me. Excuse me, it's for everybody. You ain't got to necessarily want to run a restaurant. This is the lanes that I'm in because the money is. Well, first of all, I've always wanted to run a restaurant, but secondly, I know what those numbers are. As it relates to the effectiveness of the PUM kit. Anybody that owns a food truck should own one of these. You have doubled the number of food trucks that you have if you just own one. Because now your food truck is your prep kitchen, and it can also be your supply chain where you're transporting sous vide proteins back and forth, so that you can actually cover another food desert area in a community or in a town or something like that. But let's get back to it. So anyway, like I said, 38,000 of these I would love to have sent out. Neighborhood Foodies Pop-Up Micro Commercial Kitchen Standard Operating Procedures for the Wireless Temperature Monitoring Redundancy. Again, that is for safe handling of raw meat to include poultry, pork, beef, ground beef, or a temporary food establishment utilizing sous vide, Instant Pot, and air fryer. All right. We all know that the health department is going to have minimum requirements for internal temperatures for those different proteins. All right. And you know that you have to meet those requirements. So I'm not going to really go through that part of it because, again, I can assume that in the United States that it will all match. I don't know because everybody's jurisdiction, those requirements may be different. So I'm not going to go into it. But what I will say is that once that has been met, the Neighborhood Foodies Wireless to Temperature let me slow down. Neighborhood Foodies Wireless Temperature Monitoring Redundancy, or hashtag WMTR, WTMR, Wireless Temperature Monitoring Redundancy. Hey man, I came up with it, so give me a second, I got to smooth it out. Is an original monitoring method developed by Greg Poole, and that's me, Chef Greg, in accordance with my health department's temporary food establishment requirements. In order to accurately control, monitor, and log the real-time internal and external temperature of proteins prepared by a temporary food establishment. Each of my featured appliances have a digital display control panel, where you are able to set temperature, monitor the temperature setting, and set time. But these items also have a dedicated app. And through that Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection, and on your cell phone or on the handheld device that is supplied, you're able to now remotely set and monitor and control temperature with those through those three appliances. So real quick, you've got these items, and also let's include the portable cooler. Your portable cooler also does the same thing. It refrigerates, it freezes, but also has a digital display so that you can set temperature, control, and monitor. And it also has a dedicated app where you can also set temp and monitor. So those are the three levels of redundancy at that point have been, excuse me, two levels of redundancy, or two levels of monitoring have been set. You have temp control, you have temp monitoring. And then the third aspect of my wireless temperature monitoring redundancy is your temperature log transparency. Now, temperature log transparency basically means that you're going to monitor the temp of your proteins through all phases until you have finished and are now serving that dish. But you have to document, you have to log down the number of times that you looked at your temp and made sure that your meats were at the right temperature. Either they're at 41 degrees or below, or either they're at the dedicated required temperatures that your health department has set out during their preparation, either being sous vide, air fried, or Instapot. And Instapot also includes sous vide because this Instapot says sous vide. So yeah, pressure cooked or whatever you want to call it. All right. But what needs to happen with this temperature transfer log transparency is that as you're documenting it, you're posting it. You're posting it on your social media. You're posting it on your TikTok. You're posting it on your Instagram. You're posting it on your YouTube channel. You're live streaming it. But what you're doing is you're doing a couple of things here. You're providing information to your local health department, real-time information, so that they can make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as it relates to their requirements for a temporary food establishment. You're running your restaurant or your temporary food establishment like a professional place, a professional restaurant. You're building your reputation. You're servicing the community and building your reputation, and you're logging it. But then you're also building your brand. People are able now to go to your social media and go, oh, hey, so and so, their pop-up micro commercial kitchen. Whoa, look at them. They're cruising. You're able to share information with the other owners of pop-up micro commercial kitchens. We're creating a network. We're creating a network. So temperature log transparency is, that's the third phase. We have temperature controllers, which I'll go over those, which is a cooler, your portable cooler, and first cooler is the store cooler. Portable cooler, immersion circulator, air fryer, Instapot, ice bath. Then we have temperature monitors, which are all of those things again because they have control and display panels. But the thing that I did not include yet because I was holding it to the end was that now we add our wireless meat thermometers or our wireless meat probes. And Typhur, Typhur, Typhur has an incredible line of wireless temperature meat thermometers that you can utilize in your pop-up micro commercial kitchen. Now, I've only listed their Sync Quad, which gives you four in one set, but they all act independent. So I could have one for beef, one for poultry, one for pork, one for ground meats. Okay. Stick one of those probes into a test sample of each, and now have an internal reading of each one of those proteins, which now once I chamber vacuum sealed it and chamber vacuum sealed my other 30 pieces, I can put them all in one side and know that my cooler is telling me that my cooler is set at 40 degrees. My internal probe that's in my test sample is saying that temperature of the meat is at 40 to 41 degrees. And then I can pull out my Typhur instant digital probe, insert it into that cooler, and get an instant digital probe reading. So I have three levels of temperature redundancy: temperature controllers, temperature redundancy, and then my temperature log transparency. That's my triangle. That's the triangle that you saw. Yep. That's it. Yep. I'll include this whole document as well. If you want to pull it up and take a look at it. Like I said, I protected it, copyright protected it. And then finally, also that you see on the bottom, we start with step one of a 29 step process, a standing operating procedure, excuse me. So yeah, I could go over all of this, but I think that it's important again that if you're interested, that you do your research. Sitting here listening to me mess up the words and try to get it right because I'm not really familiar with sitting in front of a camera and just talking to myself. I've provided you the information. This is a global product. $5,886.69 times 38,000. 38,000, the reason why I picked that number is because that's the total number or that's the number that I was given for McDonald's locations around the world. Now, McDonald's did $26 billion, a little bit over the 25 point something, like $26 billion last year, just last year, $26 billion worldwide. McDonald's sells burgers and fries. I mean, yeah, I know they sell other things, but their core is burgers, fries, and chicken sandwiches. That's my core. That could be your core. We can be part of that. We can be part of another 38,000. We can be part of an additional 38,000 that McDonald's may want to do on their own. They could do it on their own. They could buy 38,000 of these kits from Amazon, the neighborhood foodies, pop-up micro commercial kitchen from Amazon. They could do that if they wanted to. But why should we just let them be the only ones that do it? Their competitive edge is it's solid. We're not going to put McDonald's out of business. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to partner with. I'm trying to help you to see, the freedom and the power that you get from this, it's real. This wasn't a money-making idea that popped in my head. This was God directing my steps from one lane to another. I used to do something else. I started another business. I built it up to a level that should have been unattainable for a person with no money and no credit. But with God, you can. And even though some people may say that business was a failure, that's not true. God was preparing me. God was preparing me for something that is limitless in scalability. You don't believe me? Watch what I do with this. Watch how I present this to the world. Shark Tank is next. This is going to be a globally traded company within a matter of months. I'm not saying that it will get its SEC license in a matter of months. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the whole world's going to know about this. $26 trillion is the restaurant business worldwide last year. $26 trillion. $26 trillion. McDonald's, $25 billion. Food truck industry, $4.5 billion. Pop-up micro commercial kitchen touches all of those. It touches all of those. We had a situation where some violence shut down some restaurants in my city. I mean, what did they do with the food that was in the fridge? What did they do? They couldn't reopen. What could they have done? They didn't have an extra $50,000 sitting around so they can open up a food truck and get it going within a matter of days? Pop-up micro kitchen, you can get that delivered and you can have it set up that day. No waiting whatsoever all. None whatsoever all. You feel me? So yeah, that's what we're looking for, man. We all eat. Hashtag we all eat. Hashtag we all eat. I'm going to include all of that in this channel. But I'm not going to go too much further because after I do this, I have to do my GoFundMe. And my GoFundMe actually is going to be very specific. All the things that I didn't give you in this YouTube channel will be in the GoFundMe. Um, like I said, I've already submitted my HACCP, and I feel very confident that regardless of what the feedback will be, I know that I will be closer to the finish line as far as getting this pop-up micro commercial kitchen to a point where um, everything that I'm talking about will come true. But I know that right now I can certainly present it. And I know that right now Typher and Square and Anchor and Anova and Vivor and all of those manufacturers, hopefully, are ready. I mean, past ready. I've presented it. I've submitted it. So as information comes in about it, the numbers change. My expectations will change. Not in a bad way, but I mean, in a capitalist way. So those that are people that are interested in investing, please go to the GoFundMe. Again, I may bumbling over the words a lot, but so many of you guys are already very experienced in social media and so experienced in all the things that I'm talking about. I've looked at so many of the different content creators, with these appliances, and I know that some of you guys would love to have your own place, utilizing that appliance that you've fallen in love with in your own kitchen. I know that that's where I started. That's where it came from. And then God whispered in my ear that you have the tools. The tools are there. God did. God made it make sense to me. I'm trying to help it make sense to you. But help me. Help me. Subscribe to those manufacturers' websites and social media all over. Let them know that this pump kit, it's the real deal. It's not fake. It's not fake at all. Pop-up micro commercial kitchen, copyright pending, and I've got the number right here if I have to. But in any event, man, you guys take care of yourself. This is Chef Greg again, Neighborhood Foodies Pop-Up Micro Commercial Kitchen. Moving on to the next stage, and the next stage is the global launch. Please go to my GoFundMe. The link will be in the description below. And I hope that you guys stay safe. God bless.